are you in store for a treat, especially if you've watched us over the years. Joan Lunden is going to be here this morning. Of course, our dear friend. She's a part of a new program that helps put your medical records online. And she's a mom of 7, very important to her. And so she'll share with us how you go about doing that. And a familiar face is here. It's our good friend, Joan Lunden. Yay, Joan! And Joan is involved in a new healthcare campaign, a way for families to centralize their healthcare records. Joan's a mother of 7, as you know, so she knows how overwhelming it can be in keeping all that information together. It's a little intimidating because you did this for so long and so well. To have you here in the audience watching us do this, Joan, it's great to see you.
It is great to have you back. No kidding.
Wow, I like the sound of that. How are you, Joni?
I'm terrific. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. I guess where are my manners? We're putting your medical records online to make you healthier. Several companies like Google and Microsoft are already running test programs that allow users to store everything from prescriptions to diagnosis. And other companies, like one called Dossier, are working with huge employers like Walmart to put their workers' records on the internet all in one place. Now, almost everyone says it's a wave of the future, but there are some real concerns about privacy. We are joined by Joan Lunden, of course, the former anchor of Good Morning America, and now the spokesperson for PassportMD, one of the companies that will help you organize your medical records online. We love
it. It is the way of the future.
It is.
And everybody's going to be hearing more and more about it, and they're going to need to come to understand how these works, because 10 years from now we'll laugh that we're having this conversation, because everybody will keep their family medical records online in a secure place.
Dr. Chem has talked about that. You remember Dr. Chem.
Absolutely.
He's talked about that. But there is the issue of privacy. People are wondering, okay, just how safe, because it doesn't have the same federal regulations as other ways of keeping your medical records.
All right, a couple things are involved. First of all, if you shop online or if you do banking online, those kind of security measures are the kind of security measures that PassportMD takes. So if you trust that your money's still going to be there tomorrow when you go to click and pay a bill, they are as concerned about keeping your health records that secure. And you do need to keep your health records that secure. But another thing that you're discussing is whether it is compliant with HIPAA. And HIPAA is, that what gives you your privacy, your medical privacy, and it's also what gives you the legal right to go out and obtain your records from each and every one of your doctors. And this is something that we should all do. I think that there's almost this feeling like you go to the doctor's office and he writes on that little pad and you take that chart and they put it back in their files as though it's their information. That's your information, and it's very important, and you need to take ownership of it. And for a mom, I'm part of the sandwich generation. I take care of my little kids, and I take care of my mom, who's elderly and sees a lot of different doctors. And it can really get to be overwhelming when you try to keep track of all of that.
And how's your mother doing?
My mom's doing okay. She really is, but she's 88, and I lost my brother last year, so I took over all of her care. And at that time,
records.
I tried to put together the last few years of her medical history. A lot of the doctors have either died or they've retired. They've sold their practices. And that's another thing people don't realize, is that those medical records out there, they don't stay there forever. They can get misfiled, fire, water, whatever it is. This is where you're going to always keep these. These can be downloaded to your computer. They can be kept on a CD. They can be kept on a USB cord, which is going to make the difference between life and death now when there's an emergency, for a first responder to be able to take that off of you and actually put it in their laptop and understand.
Have that information.
Yeah, to have the information about you and make emergency medical decisions. But you've gone through all of the issues that you have with the medical profession, and you'll understand this. Maybe one of the most important things about being able to do this today is doctor access. And that is something that PassportMD does, where when you get all your records together, we all see, 4 or 5 different doctors, even if we're healthy. But they're not talking to each other. None of them are talking to each other.
So it's a way of sharing the information with other doctors.
What you decide you want to share. You don't want your records shared with anyone else. So when you start signing up for programs like this, make sure you go through all that fine print that everybody just scrolls through, and then they hit check, I agree. You want to make sure that they're not sharing your information with a third party. You want to make sure that they have security measures, and that they are also operating under HIPAA guidelines, and then nobody's going through and culling their information to sell it to someone else.
That's all good advice on how to do this, and this is something that's going to truly be the wave of the future. Speaking of the present, though, let's see, two of your kids, 5-year-old twins and 3-year-old twins. Are they 5 and 3 now, the twins?
3.5 and 5.5. The 5.5-year-olds just started kindergarten. Max and Kate, and the little ones, Jack and Kim. They're all running around, though. There they all are, in their little camp outfits. And, you know, my older daughters I mean, it's just such a playful group. It's a noisy house, but it's a playful group.
I would imagine so. So, I mean, I would imagine there's always a lot of activity going on.
There is always a lot of activity.
Oh, well, Joan, I can't tell you, and Diane would say the same thing, every single day, someone in our audience asks about you. Every single day. And just... we love seeing you. Always will be a part of the GMA family.
Well, it's always good to be back here, and I love seeing you, and you look great.
No, thank you so much. Giving love to the kids. I can't believe 5.5 and 3.5. Where does the time go? You can find more about PassportMD on our website at abcnews.com.